Welcome back to the channel Coin collectors, history lovers, and treasure hunters from around the world. If you're passionate about rare coins, hidden gems in your pocket change, and the fascinating stories that come stamped into the metal of American history, you are in exactly the right place. You're tuned into the channel that dives deep beneath the surface of every coin to uncover secrets that even seasoned numismatists might miss, and today, oh yes, today we are about to embark on a jaw-dropping journey through time. This isn't just another coin. This isn't just another dime. This is a legend wrapped in silver, a piece of Americana, a whisper from the past that echoes all the way into today's collector markets with a thunderous roar of over $623,000. Yes, you heard that right, a 1967 United States one dime that has shaken the collector world, and could be hiding somewhere, maybe even in your own old change jar.so. Sit back, grab a drink, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell, because you're not going to want to miss a second of what we're about to uncover. The value, the rarity, the mystery, and the mind-blowing history behind this iconic coin of liberty, the 1967 one dime, let's dive in. The coin, a national treasure in disguise. At first glance, the 1967 dime might not seem special. It looks like any other Roosevelt dime you've probably held hundreds of times. But what if I told you that hidden among those millions of coins minted in that year, a few rare versions exist with incredibly unique features? Features so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that collectors are willing to pay a small fortune to get their hands on them. That's right, some of these dimes, due to minting anomalies, unintentional errors, and incredibly rare die varieties, have reached astonishing values on the collector's market. And leading the pack is one unbelievable piece valued at $623,000, an absolute fortune for a 10-cent coin. But how did a coin worth just one dime become one of the most valuable dimes in United States history? To answer that, we have to go back in time. The history, a legacy forged in change. The year was 1967. America was in the throes of cultural change, the Vietnam War was raging, civil rights protests were growing, and the summer of love was in full swing. Amid this turbulence, the U.S. Mint was under pressure from a different kind of crisis, the national coin shortage that had begun in the early 1960s. In response, the Mint made several crucial decisions that would forever impact coinage, including the removal of silver from dimes and quarters starting in 1965. By 1967, dimes were no longer made of silver but instead composed of a copper-nickel clad, sandwiching pure copper in the center. The iconic image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt still graced the obverse, honoring his legacy and role in founding the March of Dimes, a national effort to combat polio. Now here's the twist. During this transitional period, the U.S. Mint temporarily halted the use of mint marks to prevent coin hoarding. That means dimes from 1965 to 1967 were minted without the little d or s that typically identifies the Denver or San Francisco Mint. This might sound like a simple omission, but for collectors, it's a vital detail, and while the majority of these 1967 dimes were mass-produced and circulated without incident, a tiny number were struck with die errors, misaligned strikes, double die obverse, and possibly even struck on leftover silver planchets from prior years. These rare varieties are what have made this coin not only historically important, but immensely valuable. Rarity and collectability, why it's so valuable. Now let's talk value, and this is where things get really exciting. While most 1967 dimes are worth only their face value or a small premium, certain rare versions, particularly those with minting errors or unusual planchets, have sold for absolutely astronomical prices at auction. One specific coin, verified and graded by professional numismatists, was found to be struck on a silver planchet rather than the intended copper-nickel composition. Because silver had been officially phased out by this time, this was likely a mistake at the mint, but a mistake that turned into a miracle for collectors. Combine that with a sharply struck die, perfect preservation, and a high mint state grade, and you've got a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. That coin? It fetched an incredible $623,000 at auction. One dime. 10 cents. Worth over $500,000. It's mind-blowing that how many of these could be out there? We may never know. They could be sitting in old piggy banks, tucked away in forgotten drawers, or stashed in inherited coin collections. And that's what makes this story so thrilling. The possibility. The chase. Market value and what to look for. So what should you look for if you think you've got a 1967 dime with potential? Start with these features. Weight. If it's heavier than normal, around 2.5 grams, you may have a silver planchet error. Coloration. Silver dimes will not have the distinct copper edge seen in clad coins. Errors. Look for double die strikes, off-center strikes, or other irregularities. Luster and preservation. A coin in mint state or proof condition will always command higher prices. Professional grading. If you suspect your coin is special, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. The coin market is hotter than ever, and prices are only going up. That $623,000 dime was no fluke. It's part of a growing trend where collectors are willing to pay massive premiums for historical rarities. And this 1967 dime is a perfect storm of history, scarcity, and mystery. Closing call to action. Engage the viewers. So, here's the million, or should I say $500,000 question. Could you be holding one of these treasures right now? Have you checked your old coin jars lately? Your childhood collections? That box of coins your grandparents left behind? Take a second look, because history isn't just written in textbooks, it's hidden in plain sight. In your pockets. In your drawers. And sometimes, in a dime that's worth more than a house. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins and want more treasure hunting tips, history-packed stories, and eye-popping collector finds, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode. Let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Do you collect? Or are you just getting started in the exciting world of numismatics? Until next time, keep your eyes open, your magnifying glasses ready, and your change jars close. Because you never know, the next coin you touch might just be worth a fortune. Today. That's right, we're about to uncover the jaw-dropping secrets behind one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever to have quietly passed through the hands of Americans across generations. It's a tiny piece of silver, yes, but its legacy? Absolutely massive. So buckle up, coin hunters and history lovers, because what you're about to hear will completely change the way you look at pocket change forever. This is not just a coin. This is a symbol. A legacy. A whisper from the past with a shout of value in the present. Today, we unravel the extraordinary story behind the one and only 1969 D. Roosevelt dime, the coin of liberty, a humble 10-cent piece that has now skyrocketed in value to an astonishing $612,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. $612,000, and it's still legal tender for just 10 cents. But there's so much more to this coin than its shocking value. Its journey through time is rich with historical resonance, minting mysteries, and American pride. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's take a deep dive into the dazzling tale of the 1969 D. Roosevelt dime. This video is going to give you chills, and maybe even a reason to start digging through your change jar like never before. History of the 1969 D. Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime first entered the scene in 1946, replacing the beloved Mercury dime, and it wasn't just any design change. It was a heartfelt tribute to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year. FDR was not only a pivotal figure in American history but also a champion of the March of Dimes, the campaign to end polio, a disease that personally affected him. His portrait was immortalized on the dime as a symbol of his tireless advocacy and leadership during the toughest times of the 20th century. Now, fast forward to 1969, a year that was bursting with cultural revolutions, moon landings, and political shifts. In the world of coins, the U.S. Mint was transitioning into mass production with high-speed presses, which meant increased outputs and, occasionally, more room for errors and anomalies. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d just below the torch on the reverse, was one of the major producers of the Roosevelt dime that year. Over 145 million dimes were minted at Denver in 1969. Most of them were ordinary, everyday coins that ended up in soda machines, change purses, piggy banks, and forgotten drawers. But among those millions was a coin that would become a legend. A coin with an unusual error. A coin so rare, so pristine, and so historically rich, that it would one day fetch more money than most people's annual salaries, or even a house. Why is it so valuable? So how did this dime, this tiny, silver-toned sliver of metal, become worth over $600,000? Well, the value of rare coins is often determined by a perfect storm, low surviving population, minting errors or varieties, condition, and historical significance. In the case of the 1969 D. Roosevelt dime, collectors struck gold, metaphorically speaking, when a coin was discovered with an ultra-rare double-die obverse. That means the face of the coin, Roosevelt's portrait, and the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1969, were struck twice by the die, creating a ghost-like doubling effect. This kind of doubling is known as a double-die obverse, DDO, and in the world of numismatics, it's pure treasure. To add to its rarity, this particular 1969 D dime was found in nearly flawless condition, a mint state gem, with sharp strikes and brilliant luster. And if there's one thing elite collectors are willing to pay top dollar for, it's perfection combined with rarity. When this coin hit the market, experts and coin dealers couldn't believe their eyes. The bidding wars that followed pushed its value up, and eventually, this remarkable little dime changed hands for a jaw-dropping $612,000 at auction. Yes. One dime. 10 cents. Sold for over $500,000. Value in circulation and current market status. Now, let's talk numbers. As of now, the 1969 D. Roosevelt dime with that specific double-die error and in near-perfect condition is considered one of the most valuable modern-era U.S. coins in circulation. While the vast majority of 1969 D dimes are only worth their face value, or slightly more in circulated grades, if you're lucky enough to stumble upon one with this unique minting error, you're holding a potential six-figure fortune. According to current coin market trends and verified auction sales, the highest known sale of a 1969 D. Roosevelt dime stands at a staggering $612,000, and the demand for these coins continues to grow. Collectors are constantly scanning listings, attending auctions, and inspecting change just to get a glimpse, or a shot, at owning one. But here's the exciting part: it is still entirely possible that more of these ultra-rare specimens are floating around in the wild, sitting quietly in coin jars, tucked inside old coin albums, or lying unnoticed in someone's pocket change. How to identify one? So how do you spot this treasure in your own collection? Here are the key things to look for. Mint mark D, located on the reverse side, indicating it was minted in Denver, doubling on the obverse, particularly on the date, 1969, the word "Liberty," and "In God We Trust." Mint state condition: the higher the grade, the higher the value, especially if it's never been circulated. Authentication: any coin that appears to have a double-die error should be immediately sent to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for verification. Final thoughts: Coin of Liberty, worth a fortune. What makes the 1969 D. Roosevelt dime so special isn't just the mistake that created it, or even the eye-popping amount it commands today. It's the symbolism behind it. This tiny coin, the coin of liberty, represents a blend of history, craftsmanship, and chance. It connects the legacy of Franklin Roosevelt, the power of American resilience, and the thrilling unpredictability of coin collecting. It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes, true treasures are hidden in plain sight, nestled in your change jar, or passed to you over a counter without a second thought. So check your pockets, search your drawers, and revisit your coin collection. Because the next time you hold a dime in your hand, it might just be the coin that changes your life. If you found this video as fascinating as we did making it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more incredible coin stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another hidden gem. Let us know in the comments, have you ever come across a Roosevelt dime with strange markings or doubling? You might be sitting on a gold mine.